Welcome to Cooking with Si. Today we're going to be making a chicken madras, but my sort of take on it. So today you're going to need some chicken. We've got some tomato puree, garlic, ginger, an onion, some coconut milk, cinnamon, passata, paprika, some madras curry powder to give it its authentic taste, some tamarind paste, and then because I like my vegetables in my curries, I've got some fine beans and some spinach. So I'll just sort everything out, have a little bit of a tidy up, and then I'll come back to you very shortly. Okay, so welcome back to just a bit of a tidy up. I've got the choppy thing. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a choppy thing, just so that I can sort of do something with the onions to get them smaller so they cook easier. And you want to put paste for this rather than an onion based, as in chunky onion based sort of thing. So just take the skins off the onions. Get rid of that. Now, because these are going into the blender, they don't need to be too small. The blender will do the work. Might as well let that do it rather than you do it. So onion. I'm going to put 4 garlic cloves in. They're not very big ones, these. So if they're a good size, just a couple. These aren't massive, so I'm going to put 4 in. Now this is going to give you a nice sort of creamy madras. It's going to have a kick, and I shall doctor it at the end, depending on how hot it is. I may well put more chilli powders in. The skins on these garlics are so thin, I can't get the damn things off. That's painful. That's one. As I said to you before, I think in one of the last videos, if you get fresh garlic, it can actually end up being quite sticky when you're handling it. So just be aware that's all. It's not that keen. 3. Finally 4. So then you want probably a good couple of teaspoons of ginger in there, the equivalent of. So by the time I've taken the outside off this, it's not going to be too far away, I don't think. So as far as making into a paste is concerned, that's what you want in your paste. So I've got an onion, 4 cloves of garlic, and about 2 teaspoons of ginger. So I'll just whiz that up once it's turning on nice. So I'll give it a bit of a whiz, and then just get a plastic spoon something like that, and just push down from the outside just to get any real big lumps out. You don't want it too pasty, but you do want any massive lumps in there. And if you struggle a little bit, if it's just close up the sides, just pop a bit of water in. Right, that's it. That's all you need. And you can see that you've now got a decent sort of very rough paste. You don't need anything too flush. Right, I'm going to spin you around. There you go. Get some heat under this pan. Now, convention would say if it's Indian, then you should be using ghee, or you know, something similar. Not conventional, as you well know. So I'm just going to use a bit of olive oil. I'm sure somebody that's into the authentic, there's not an awful lot in there, it looks worse than it is. Somebody that's really into the authentic Indian probably be able to tell the difference, but I know I certainly can't. So we get a bit of heat into that. It doesn't need to be on high, you don't want to burn it. You want to get the rawness out of the onion and the garlic and the ginger. Take that down a little bit, I don't want it too high. So I want it to sort of, you know, just almost like braise through really. I added some water into there just to sort of loosen it up so that it went through the blender a little bit, but that was maybe only, I don't know, a tablespoon maybe at the most. So you need to get that cooked out and let it dry up a little bit. Just behind you, all I'm doing is tidying up a little bit. I'm just going to get rid of the garlic and ginger bits, etc. It's starting to smell nice already. So that's cooking it off nicely now. We're getting there slowly. Get to the point where we can get a little bit of colour on it. That's ideal. I'm not sure this is actually going to take too much of that, because I don't like to use an awful lot of oil, if I'm honest, just because that's the bit that's obviously not very good for you. So it's probably half what would be recommended, I would say, in there in the first place. But nearly all the water's gone now. We're not far away. So now that they're at that point, let's start with some spices. So half a teaspoon of cinnamon, a good 1, 2, 3 heaped teaspoons of madras curry powder, 1.5 of paprika, and let's have a look. Got some tamarind paste in there as well, so got that. Give it a good stir to start with, because it wasn't very. So a good drizzle of tamarind paste as well. So I've got the noise. Give it a good stir in. You could also put fenugreek in here as well. I don't have any to hand today, so I'm not going to bother. So get that, give it a good mix in, and I would say that by now, that you can see there's hardly any water coming out of that now as well. And since you put powders in there, that's actually soaked up the extra little bit of moisture that was in there. So that's now ready for the passata. In with your passata. Give that a good mix in. You can see that's really taking a nice colour and paste on now. It smells nice. And then the bit that gives it the creamy bit, to the coconut milk. I don't know about you guys, but I really do like you know, herbs and spices particularly. It's the bit that I think, you know, cooking say a Sunday roast. I mean, there's nothing like a Sunday roast, but I think that when it comes to creative cooking and, you know, things that I really like, I think the herbs and the spices, particularly the spices, are the thing for me. And spice, as in chili spice, I love anything that's hot. Needs a little bit of tomato puree in there, a good couple of tablespoons. So I'll probably just finish that one off, because there wasn't an awful lot in there. There's probably 3 in there, I would say. There we go. What I would say is anytime you use tomatoes, I think I've said this before, every time you use tomatoes, just put a little bit of sugar in as well. It takes the metallicness away from the tomatoes, which you know, it just gives it a little bit of taints it a little bit, does tomato, I think. So just ordinary granulated sugar, it doesn't need to be anything special. If you've got on some Indian style sugar, then that's fine. You can easily grate that, some palm sugar or something. Please do. I do have some somewhere, but it's actually gone a little bit hard. So that's just maybe a teaspoon of sugar in there, just to take the edge off that tomato. So just have a tidy up on this side. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of salt and pepper in here, just to so it's half a teaspoon of salt, and this is, I mean, these are tiny, so it looks like a lot. But that's still only a teaspoon of black pepper. So that's bubbling away nicely. So turn you back around, I'll show you what I'm doing. Turn that right down. So on this side, so on this side I'm going to put down a mat to start with, and then my raw chicken board. I've got a couple of good sized chicken breasts here. That's just the mini fillet from one, would you believe? What size is that bad boy? So there we go. As I say, that's one of the fillets from one of the smaller ones. In fact, it could even be from that one. Look, here it is. So just check. So where the breast comes off the chicken, there's like a socket part there. Just make sure that on that one there is a little bit. So just make sure that when you slice it up, that you've not got a little bit of the sinew in there, because it just tends to stay in there. And on this end of the breast, sorry, this end of the breast here, sometimes you get the end of the breastbone. So again, just be careful, make sure there's nothing there. That one's fine. So what I'm going to do is just dice this up for the curry. So watch your fingers with this, because obviously chicken breasts are very slippery. Once you lose a finger, just a little bit there. Now you can see that there. Look, see that? That's a little bit of the breastbone being left on by the process. Can't quite get that. There we go. You just don't want any curry, that's all. So just chop it up. Good sized chunks. I think these chicken breasts came from Costco, but you know, everywhere does them. Tesco's do decent multi-packs of these. I tend to buy loads and put them in the freezer. So with that, so you've now seen me, I've diced that one up. I'll just turn you back around the other way. And in with the chicken. Always one. Give your hands a good wash. So let that bubble away until your chicken's done, and then you can start to taste it and add to and take away whatever you want to do. So that's your base with your chicken in. As I said, don't taste it yet, it's got raw chicken. Just having a tidy up behind you. It's actually looking and smelling really nice. It's back on this side. Try to keep moving you around, don't I? It's back on this side. I'm just going to trim these beans, that's all I'm doing now. Just a little tidy up as you can see. So I love vegetables in curries. I'm actually going to put some, if I've got some, I think I've got some, I'm going to put some mushrooms in as well. And I mean, to be fair, for all you vegetarians out there, and there's plenty of you, you could easily just make this into a vegetarian curry by leaving out the chicken. Dead easy. So I'm just taking off the string end of the bean, and then just chopping them down into a size that will, you know, be quite nice in the curry itself. Get the occasional one like that one that's not worth having really, but that's alright. That's your beans, they can go in. as is. I wish I had two cameras because it would be easy. I don't know how to edit. If somebody out there knows a little bit about the editing things, I would be happy to take advice. I'm sure there's an easy way to do it. Obviously, if you're going to put mushrooms in, they don't want to go in too early because they'll just go to mush. Beans and spinach in curries isn't everybody's taste, and that's absolutely fine. No issue with it at all. I love it. And I love it when the spinach is all wilted down. It looks like an awful lot, but that you'll not see. In 10 minutes time it'll all be done. A fantastic way to get your 5 a day as well. So just keep that stirring just to get the spinach into it. And you can see it's almost half the size already. And that's now incorporated. Again, let it bubble away. I'm just having to tidy up in the background again. So just let that bubble away now, and once the chicken's done, another 5-10 minutes, we'll have a look and see what it tastes like. So I'll put you on pause for now. So I've just got some mushrooms I'm going to chop up here. Not too small, nice and chunky, because they will sort of, again, a bit like your spinach really, just disappear down next to nothing. I mean, I think the statistic is mushrooms are about 90% water anyway, so do sort of evaporate, maybe. Is that the word? I have no idea what she's doing in the background. Something to do with sellotape. That's some mushroom chops. I'll pop them in a minute. Right, so we're a little bit further down the line. I'm going to put these mushrooms into there. I've got a quick taste of it, and I think it needs, for me, an awful lot more chilli. So stir those in. The chicken's cooked now. The spinach has just about disappeared into the whole sauce thing. The mushrooms are now in there. It's looking really good. It's Smells lovely. So I'm going to put some more chilli in. And I'm going with crushed chillies, and that's a teaspoon and a half. Give that another sort of 10 minutes to get that chilli going through it, and then give it another try. But that gives you your base, and that's your sauce. So that is, in this case, chicken madras with extra vegetables. It's got some beans, spinach and mushrooms in. Thank you very much.